If you are a newbie photographer or a videographer, the decision of buying your very first DSLR can be pretty tough, especially with the daunting list of options we have today. Thankfully, the good thing is, we have some great DSLRs at almost every price range or different needs. However, there are some things you should consider before getting a DSLR. What's up guys, this is Rupesh from Beebom.com, and today I'm going to help you buy a DSLR. I'm going to point out some really important things that you should consider before buying a DSLR. Before we get started, make sure to hit the bell icon to get notifications for all our future videos. Now that you've done that, let's get started. First of all, the DSLR for you depends on what you'll be using it for. Photography, videography, or both. If you're buying a DSLR for photography, you have to make sure it features various camera modes like HDR, portrait, night, etc. along with built-in flash and image editing features. If you're buying a DSLR for videography, you need to consider a couple of features. That is the resolution it shoots at and the frame rate speeds it offers. For instance, we use both the Canon 70D and the 77D for our videos. Now we prefer the 77D because it lets you shoot videos at 1080p at 60 fps, unlike 70D which only shoots 1080p at 30 fps. The higher frame rate speed results in videos that are a lot more smoother, so you'll have to consider this for your camera. Sensor size is one of the most important features to consider while buying a new DSLR. It's simple really, the larger the sensor, the more information it will capture and the clearer the photos will be. There are various different sensor sizes, but the three most popular sensor sizes are full frame, micro four thirds and APS-C. The full frame sensors offer the best clarity along with some great dynamic range. As the name suggests, with full frame sensors you have no crop factor. So what you see through the viewfinder is what you shoot. However, full frame sensors generally benefit the photographers. Next up is the APS-C format, and what's used in most entry-level and mid-range cameras from Nikon and Canon. This sensor size brings a 1.6 crop and provides a perfect balance between price and image quality. This sensor size is optimum for both photographers and videographers. Then there's 4 thirds or micro 4 thirds used in Olympus and Panasonic cameras. This sensor size offers 2x crop and uses a 4:3 image aspect ratio, which makes it more suitable for videographers. Plus, cameras with this sensor size also tend to offer more frame rate speeds and video resolution. Let me sum things up for you. If you want better photos, you should go for a full frame sensor. If you want better videos, you should go for a 4 thirds sensor. And if you want both, you can go for a DSLR that packs in an APS-C sensor. The next thing to consider while buying a new DSLR is the body of a DSLR. While most cameras look pretty similar, you need to make sure that the ergonomics of a DSLR are perfect for you. Then you should check for dedicated microphones, an HDMI port, and the number of custom buttons on offer. Also, I'd suggest you to go with cameras that have an LCD touchscreen display because it just makes things easier. And you can check out if a DSLR has a flipping display or not, because it can come in really handy. Both Canon and Nikon offer touch displays on most of their budget cameras, but there are exceptions, so make sure to check. Other than that, you will get used to the buttons, no matter which camera brand you go for. Lenses are very important when it comes to the quality of the camera, so you need to make sure that the DSLR brand you are choosing has a good selection of lenses. Actually, Nikon, Canon and Sony, the 3 most popular brands out there, have an equally good selection of lenses. However, Nikon lenses are said to be more affordable compared to Canons and Sonys. Also, all these camera brands offer a kit lens of around 18 to 55mm zoom lens. However, if you are on a budget, you should go for a cheaper body and invest in a zoom as well as a prime lens, so you're covered on all the fronts. For instance, we use the 18 to 55mm kit lens and the 50mm f1.8 prime lens for our videos, and they work amazingly well. The megapixel count is important, but not as important as you might think. More megapixels don't necessarily mean better photos. 8 megapixel photos are good enough for large prints, and even entry-level DSLRs come with 15 to 16 megapixels. To be honest, any DSLR that you buy today will have more than enough megapixels, so you don't need to take the megapixels into account. DSLRs don't come in very cheap, so you need to make sure that the new DSLR you're buying is future-proof for at least a few years, unless you're planning to upgrade very soon. Honestly, if you are on a budget, you should be good enough with most Nikon and Canon cameras. But if you're looking to go professional and you're planning to invest this one time, you should go with a camera with a full-frame sensor for photography, or go for cameras with 4K support if you are into videography. Mirrorless cameras are on the rise, so you're not wrong if you're thinking whether you should go for a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Well, mirrorless cameras have certain advantages. They are certainly more portable as mirrorless cameras are smaller and lighter. Then there's the fact that mirrorless cameras are just way ahead when it comes to high-speed shooting. Also, mirrorless cameras offer better video capture with faster autofocus, and the electronic viewfinder on these cameras are preferred by many. However, I'd still suggest you to go with a DSLR. Because for DSLRs, there are a huge variety of lenses, and while mirrorless cameras have lenses too, they are few and very expensive. Then there's the fact that some people just prefer the more natural and lag-free optical viewfinder in DSLRs. Also, the battery life on DSLRs is much better, so there's that. Having said all that, I really believe mirrorless cameras are the future, and with constant improvements, they should be able to take over DSLRs. Now that you know about the various things that you should consider before buying a new DSLR, let me tell you the DSLRs I recommend at different price ranges. Under 30,000, the best camera is Nikon D5300. Under 60,000, the best camera is Nikon D5500. Under 90,000, you should get the Canon EOS 80D. Under 1,20,000, I prefer the Canon 6D. If your budget is even higher, your choices will depend on your usage. So you can consider the aforementioned points and then buy the camera. Well, those were some really important points to consider before buying a DSLR. If you have any thoughts or any questions, let us know in the comment section below. And if you're new to DSLRs, do make sure to check out our video on how to use a DSLR. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. But that's me signing off. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.